we're going to be checking out 25 common American myths you won't believe are actually true. Should be interesting to find out what's myth and what's true. Looking forward to checking it out. Just before we jump into it, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. It massively helps out the channel we're growing. But yeah, let's just press play and jump straight into it.
We all love debunking myths in popular culture. Television shows, podcasts, and documentaries have been dedicated to doing so. However, we rarely think about the common myths that are true. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 common myths you won't believe are actually true. 25. A large percentage of U.S. currency contains cocaine. Though scientists say there's not enough on money to cause health risks, cocaine binds to the green dye on dollar bills. Once one contaminated bill is put into a bank money machine, it contaminates all the other bills.
Oh, okay.
And that's how 90% of U.S. currency contains cocaine.
That's kind of mad when you think about it, because money just goes around everywhere, and 90% of it is contaminated. So how much in your pocket right now is contaminated?
24. Water heated in a microwave can explode.
Really?
While the chances are low, it's still possible to superheat your water in the microwave.
I didn't know
Since you can't control the temperature in the microwave, you're better off just using a kettle.
I was just about to say that, just as he said it, yeah, get a kettle. I don't know about in America, but in the UK, yeah, like £5, about $8 maybe, you would get one, but maybe they're more money in America. Let me know in the comments. 23. A student mistakenly solved an impossible math problem. In 1939, George Bernard Danzig arrived late to a statistics class at the University of California and found two math problems on the board. Mistakenly thinking they were his homework, he wrote them down. Of course, he didn't know at the time that the problems were statistical theorems that hadn't been proven yet. He took his homework home and worked out the proofs for the theorems. Wow.
22.
That's mad.
Celery is a negative calorie food. Placing a man in a metabolic calorie chamber, researchers tested whether or not celery is indeed a negative calorie food. He was fed 326 grams of raw celery worth 53 calories. During that time, he burned 72 calories. You burn more calories than you consume with celery, making it a negative calorie food. I still don't like it. It's gross.
Same.
Peanut butter on its own is fine. Celery ruins it. Celery's gross.
I like celery.
No. I'm sorry, you're wrong, but celery's gross.
That's just your opinion.
Yeah, and yours is wrong.
What is wrong with you?
21. Someone safely landed a plane in the middle of Manhattan. Twice.
Oh, really?
Before Captain Sullenberger landed on the Hudson River, a man named Thomas Fitzpatrick landed in Manhattan twice. After making a bet, he stole a plane and landed it on St. Nicholas Avenue.
Where'd he get the plane from?
Right in front of the bar where he made the bet. Then, 2 years later, he did it again, both in narrow areas in the dark. 20.
Wow.
Avoid teaching hospitals in July. While sometimes you have no choice but to go to the hospital for one ailment or the other, if you can avoid teaching hospitals in July, you might be better off. July is when medical students become interns. Interns become residents. Residents become fellows or practicing doctors. These changes and the inexperience surrounding them has led to many unfortunate patient errors.
I mean, the thing is, nobody wants to go to hospital, so you can't really help when you're going to go to hospital. I can't imagine anyone out there is like, wakes up in the morning and thinks, yeah, I'd like to go to a hospital today. But yeah, that is definitely an interesting fact.
In the past, and they're usually not as funny as like when they happen on Scrubs. That's Hollywood for you. 19. Crickets can tell you the temperature. While this might sound like some kind of old wives' tale, it's actually scientifically sound. Crickets are cold-blooded and take on the temperature of their surroundings. When the temperature rises, the chemical reactions that allow them to chirp come on more rapidly. By using a formula, you can count the chirping and determine what the temperature is outside.
So that's kind of like counting lightning. When you hear the lightning, you count how long the thunder takes, and that tells you how far away it is, or something like that. Or is it the opposite way? Oh, I can't remember now. But yeah, is it something similar to that? It's kind of on the same vibe, isn't it? 18. Pablo
Picasso's full name has 23 words. Though it would seem silly to think that someone could have such a long name and discount it immediately, Pablo Picasso was indeed named Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paula Juan Nepomuceno Maria de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad
What?
Martir Patricio Clito Ruiz y Picasso.
Wow.
No way he remembered his own name. No way. No way. When someone said to him, write down your name, he's put his first name and his last name. There's no way he remembered all that. I wouldn't even remember my name if it had that many in it. There's just no way.
Wow. Neat.
17.
A physician weighed the human soul using a scale. A 20th century physician named Dr. Duncan McDougall attempted to measure the mass lost after a human died, believing the soul leaving the body had mass. He measured 6 patients
Okay.
at the moment of death with varying results, though he believes his first was the most accurate. Of course, his research has been heavily discounted.
16.
Dogs are raised for food in China. While most of the Western world
No.
raises chicken, cows, and sheep for food, China and some other Eastern countries do something totally different. They raise dogs for food. And at the Yulin Dog Festival, approximately 10,000 dogs and cats are killed and eaten at the feast.
15.
Wow.
Coca-Cola used to contain cocaine. While it's hard to determine exactly how much cocaine
You can kind of guess it in the name. Where did that name come from? But yeah. Very interesting.
was in early forms of the popular fizzy drink Coca-Cola, it did in fact have cocaine in it. However, it's doubtful it had enough in it to make someone an addict.
Okay.
14.
Your phone is disgustingly dirty. Quick, how often do you give your phone a good scrub down? I'm going to guess the answer was seldom to never. The chances are good everyone's phone is a germ-infested piece of plastic and metal. In fact, just to compare, researchers did a study and swabbed bathroom door handles in comparison to cell phones
Really?
and found the door handles significantly
No
less
way.
dirty.
13.
There's a secret club inside Disneyland.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a popular myth going around that Disney has a secret club. It turns out that it's not a myth at all. Opened in 1963, Club 33 was intended as a super secret part of Disneyland to entertain celebrities, politicians, and park
Okay.
investors.
Not
However,
for people like
most
me.
park guests wouldn't notice it, as there are no visible signs or doors, and it blends into the park naturally. To get
Interesting,
inside, someone would need to show you the entrance and press the secret buzzer to open the door.
12.
The 8th president was the first American. While George
Right.
Washington was the first president of the United States, he was also a former subject of the British Crown. Martin Van Buren was born in the United States, becoming the first president to be a citizen under the Constitution.
11.
Interesting.
Al Gore and Tommy Lee Jones were roommates. It might seem unlikely that a politician and an actor could be roommates, but it's true. Al Gore and Tommy Lee Jones roomed together at Harvard. Jones even gave the nominating speech to Gore at the 2000 Democratic Presidential Convention.
10.
Earth is the only planet in our solar system not named after a god.
Oh, wow.
Some of the planets in our solar system were
Why?
given names long ago based on Roman and Greek mythology, naming them after gods. However, Earth was the only planet not named after a god. In modern times, the tradition of naming planets after mythological gods continued with Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto.
So what happened with Earth? What they just was like, yeah, Earth is just probably like the worst planet in the solar system. So yeah, we're just not going to name it after a god. Is that what happened? That's what, 'cause they all get god names, but Earth don't.
9.
One twin can be born 2 months older than the other. Here's
No.
a common scientific myth that isn't actually a myth. A Romanian woman gave birth to a set of twins 7 weeks apart. After her first child was
Wow.
born, she immediately stopped having contractions. The doctors advised that she keep the other baby inside to develop a little longer. She carried her second child for 7 more weeks before delivering by C-section.
That's crazy.
Snakes can swim up your toilet.
No.
While it may sound like something your older brother would,
I don't know if you've seen previous videos where we was looking at animals, but yeah, I don't like snakes. It's something about snakes. I don't like it. Don't tell me that they're going to swim up the toilet. That's going to give me nightmares. I don't like the idea of a snake swimming up my toilet. Not one bit.
tell you to freak you out, it's actually true
no.
that snakes have been found in toilets. Snakes are good swimmers and can hold their breath for a long time. Many stories have circulated over the decades about people finding snakes in their toilet. However, it's extremely rare.
I hope so.
7.
People illegally harvest human organs.
Oh,
Rich people with failing organs will pay a high price to get a replacement, and that's exactly where black market human organ traffickers come in. preying on third world countries' most impoverished people. They essentially steal people's organs and sell them to the highest bidder. Those organs end up in the US, where surgeons, probably not knowing their origin, have been transplanting them.
6.
Okay.
The Pentagon is prepared for zombies.
What?
Always be prepared.
Zombies.
In the unlikely case that the undead roam the earth, the Pentagon has a plan to defend and combat against it.
Interesting.
So does the University of Florida.
Really?
Yeah, we have a zombie plan. Look it up.
5.
Raid the water heater for clean water. Whether you're in a hurricane or
This one's
it's the end of
true.
the world,
I know
if
this
you
one's true.
desperately need water, then the best place to look might be your water heater. If the gas and electric is turned off, the water heater has water that is still drinkable and can easily be drained at the tap.
4.
The state of Michigan threatened beavers with a $10,000 fine.
No.
In 1997, Stephen Tvedten's neighbors noticed flooding on his property, traced it back to Tvedten, and complained to the state. The state determined that the flooding was because of a couple of dams built by beavers.
But wait, beavers haven't even got pockets. Where do they put their money? They ain't got no money. What type of job has a beaver got? So how are you gonna how are you expecting a beaver to pay 10,000? I couldn't pay 10,000, let alone a beaver. Whoever come up with that, yeah, what they were thinking, I don't know.
And proceeded to fine the beavers $10,000 unless they take the dams down. Who could have thought a couple of beavers could cause so much trouble?
3.
Otters sleep holding hands.
Oh, interesting.
Speaking of woodland creatures, otters have been known to hold hands while they sleep in the water so they don't separate from each other. That's adorable.
2.
A building in Canada is also in the United States. The Haskell Free
Oh, is it on the
Library and
border?
Opera House sits right on the border between Derby Line, Vermont and Stansted, Quebec.
1.
Albert Einstein wanted to be a musician.
Oh,
One of the
interesting.
most renowned physicists in history, Albert Einstein once said if he were not a physicist, he would have been a musician. He played the violin.
Nice. Well, I think I said interesting a lot of times during that video, but it was interesting. Apart from snakes swimming up toilets. No, I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. There is no snakes coming in my toilet, please. I'd rather them swim somewhere else. But other than that, yeah, very interesting video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. It'll massively help out the channel we're growing. But for now, I'll see you on the next reaction.